Cody Ko's community has had a hard time coping with all of the Tana Mojo allegation situation. And while there are some people who are having a rough time and showing it by defending Cody or downplaying what he did, most of the people that are having a hard time feel bad for having liked him before they knew about this stuff, which to me is very, very silly. You know, after the fact, I can get the argument a little bit more, but there's no reason that you should be feeling bad for having enjoyed somebody's content before finding something out like this. Um, so before we jump into that, I do just want to show this video, Kelsey explaining what happened after Cody told her that he would propose to her by the end of that year.
For the rest of the year, every single thing that we did, whether it was like, he was like, do you want to just go for a walk on like a Tuesday at 12 p.m. or like, we're going to go to the beach, whatever it was. I was like, I can't believe he's about to propose to me.
Right, of course.
He told me that and I was like, okay, every single thing we did, this is the proposal. And then it got to be December. And once it got to be December, I was like, he doesn't want to marry me. And this is so mortifying that he told me by the end of the year. And that he now has changed his mind and he doesn't want to marry me. And I called Emma, who we know and love. Emma.
I mean, if you guys love Emma, that's great. But she gave you terrible, terrible advice here, in my opinion. Horrible advice to give your friend.
One of my best friends went to college together and I called her and I was like, he doesn't want to marry me. And I was crying. And I was sad. And she was like, you need to relax. This is like kind of pathetic. Like
You need to relax. Like, what are you talking about? That's a serious thing to tell somebody that you're going to marry them by the end of the year and then not follow through on that, not address it. Like, that's not really a person that you can trust if they just fall through on that sort of stuff and don't feel the need to address it at all. That's a big deal. And instead, Emma says, Kelsey, you're actually pathetic for being upset about this. Yeah, well, you're a terrible, useless friend who has no advice to offer anybody.
to marry you. You just don't know when.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, whatever.
Oh, now it's just a mystery. Yeah, he gave you a date and now it's just a mystery. See, it's just fun. Think of it that way. It's just like a fun game that he's playing with you.
I was sad and I wasn't being very nice to him because I was mad.
You had no idea.
I had stopped hoping at this point. Everything to me was like it was going to happen. And then it kept not that I was like, there's just no way it's going to happen anymore.
Right.
Yeah. So even the woman that he marries and has a kid with, he's totally using her and taking advantage of her. And that's the sort of thing that he does. Great guy, this Cody Ko. But, so this was a bit odd to me. The TMG for Real account put this out on an Instagram story, I think. And they say, hey everyone, I wanted to say thank you for the messages and support. It means a lot to me. I'll be back up next week with a new episode of TMG. See you soon. Thank you, Noel. To me, that just seems like that should come from Noel's account or whatever. It's weird to to say on the Tiny Meat Gang account, I wanted to say thank you for the messages and support. It means a lot to me. I don't know. Not a huge deal or anything, just a little bit weird. But so there was a video on the Cody Ko subreddit like this. It's just kind of reminiscing over moments that they had together and all. Didn't we have such grand old times and we have so much fun together? Oh, look, we shared a cake together, celebrating a very special moment. And these comments here are in response to that post. This one's got a little kick to it. Damn. No, seriously, this is the first edit that made my chest a little too stiff. Doesn't hit the same knowing one was a whole predator that entire time. It's like, man, just let him be sad about this, you know? They're not defending him or anything, so you can just let them let them be sad. I'm fucking crying. I ain't the biggest TMG fan in terms of Patreon sub, etc., but watch all their videos together and listen to every podcast. Some of their bits and riffing made me laugh till it hurt and got me through some tough times. This broke me. Man, they're having a really hard time. I I wish we knew how old they were because to me that's like the relationship a kid has with somebody on the TV show that they watch, but sucks that it had to end like this. Damn, now I'm sad. So sad this could happen. Really can't trust any YouTubers out there. Crying face. When someone presents themselves as a male feminist, wholesome guy, then you know he's got skeletons in his closet. So again, that's a fair enough point to make, but you can just let people be sad here. The overall sentiment of the thread is screw Cody. There's not very many people defending him or whatever. So unless you see that, you don't need to be like, no, he sucks, he's awful. That's all you can ever talk about is how bad he is. Like, yeah, that's important, for sure. And that he should address that sort of stuff, but people who are fans, you can just allow them to have been fans. But here's an example of a kind of wild comment. Just curious, why are people who change and try to make amends for their past still considered a horrible person? I mean, only from what I know, this is his only controversy. Doesn't everyone deserve second chances? In theory, sure, people deserve second chances, but there are certain things where people don't want to give second chances. You just cross the line. And for a lot of people, what Cody did with Tana is one of those. And besides that, the way that has addressed it or really chosen not to, more or less, step down from the day-to-day aspects of TMG, but that to me is what is more condemning is that on top of what he did already, being very questionable at the very least, he's refusing to address it in any real way. Why would you make this? I'm bawling. We're in the acceptance stage. Bruh, why? God damn, this really hit a nerve. I'll always have you. Damn, this hurts. All he had to do was not talk to kids. Why is this so hard for some of these YouTubers? Fuck. Man, they're really beating themselves up for having been a fan. They're they're very broken up about it. TMG died when they stopped doing cringe videos. As sad as I am for Noel, I will say I never found Cody to be anything more than a hype man for Noel and TMG. Noel was always the funny one, and excuse me, and Cody would just riff off of it whenever Cody tried to be funny. Noel would save it. And this, again, to me, comes across as more cope about you don't want to say that you were a fan of Cody. It's just, there's nothing wrong with having been a fan. You don't have to do this. I mean, maybe that's honestly how you felt, but there's multiple people sort of saying the similar sentiment. And so to me, it comes across as after the fact, you're trying to rationalize the fact that you liked this guy that you now think is shitty. Everyone keeps saying this, but it's genuinely okay if y'all liked Cody and thought he was funny before all the shitty stuff about him was revealed. It's not like we were bad people for enjoying his vids before we knew who he really was. Yeah, that's fair. Cody, can you please apologize? I've never wanted someone to just come out, address things, and just truly apologize more than this guy. I'm not trying to make it seem insignificant, but I feel he will just actually have a genuine apology. If he lets this lead to his downfall, I'll be very disappointed. And, to be fair, this doesn't have any upvotes or anything. I think, don't you usually start with one? So it might even have one downvote. But Fatty McButtface69 replies, any meaningful apology would include him admitting to crimes. He is smart enough to not do that. And OP replies, so does that just mean he blows it off or stops making content altogether? Cool username, by the way. He likely never addresses it. He may or may not return to making content, but I seriously doubt he apologizes at any point. And now we're back to more cope here. Goodbye was coming soon, situation or not. The goodbye was coming, guys. The situation or not. The yellow brick road was coming to an end. He mentioned on the second channel that he's doing all the content to complete deals so one day he could stop YouTube and fully commit to being a dad. And that's why he was doing things like, DJing in Vegas while his wife is at home alone with the kid. It's very obvious that Cody has a strong connection with his family with the running, hiking, biking, and all the other things they do together. With that being said, it was bound to see him leave, fully commit to dad mode with more of production role slash podcast a week, and that's why I think that's one of the few reasons he hasn't said shit. Outside of lawyers, I don't think he wants to publish an apology video that his kid can watch 10 years from now instead of a conversation about fucking up everything. He definitely should have a conversation with his kids about this, about his online career in general. But to me, it seems like it would be a lot worse that you tell them all of this and then the kid's like, where's the apology video, Dad? All these YouTubers, they apologize for, yelling at somebody too much in League of Legends, but you didn't apologize for any of this, as far as I can see. It's like, oh, no, 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 no. Look at this statement. I stepped down from the day-to-day production role at TMG. Oh, great job, Dad. Now I can continue to look up to you. Honestly, if you want something to be said and have a long-time fan, I get it, because I feel the same. But those talking about going to his DJ sets to be hateful or other ways to fuck with him, grow the fuck up and move on. Just weird to have so much energy to defend him from people who, just want to go to his show and say, you suck, screw you. If they're doing more than that, actual harassment or threats or something, then sure, criticize that. But you're really going to sit here and defend Cody from people heckling him at his public DJ shows? Oh, wow, big deal. He was basically a content farm towards the end, lol. His reaction videos felt so uninspired and stale. I was so shocked to see how many views they always got. I did like the cut videos, though. When it went from once a week to once a day, I tuned out for the most part. I can fall victim to FOMO on something that only takes 20 minutes each week, but every day it becomes a chore and not worth it. So yeah, people are saying Cody's content was a chore to watch before this anyway. Reaction videos are always going to be uninspired and stale. It is just that format in general. But when it comes to Cody, his content has been entertaining. The type of entertainment that you can have playing in the background or watch while eating. Which again, not glowing reviews. That's kind of, lower level entertainment. If if you're just watching it in the background, you know? Also, many people would never watch the videos he is reacting to without him in the picture. I don't think that's really true, especially with the cut videos and stuff. Those get millions of views. I'm not really familiar with all that he did, but I thought he reacted to like TikToks and other popular stuff. I could be wrong about that, but at the very least, he doesn't exclusively react to rare finds that nobody would watch otherwise. And I don't have a problem with that. You can react to whatever you want. Just I don't think that's an accurate portrayal of what he did. Yeah, he literally became the content creators he used to make fun of. It's interesting what money can do to someone's values. To be honest, a comforting aspect of his videos were that they felt like hanging out with a friend. No production value, no scripts, just chilling. I kind of liked that vibe, eating lunch with a pal and having some laughs. I completely agree, though, he was clearly on his way out, and this was probably just an easy out for him. Don't think I would consider this an easy out. This is one of the roughest outs you could go with. And I'm assuming that this person who deleted their comment echoed a similar sentiment to that last part of this comment where they're like, yeah, this was all part of his plan. He just did this so he could stop uploading and people wouldn't bother him. Because Curry replies, interesting. I too pretend I'm a PDF to get out of doing work. And literally Natty has to ask, that means sarcasm, right? Yeah, yeah, bro. And then, yeah, these people are also replying to that deleted comment with question marks. And why exactly do you think that? So, yeah, they're probably saying something wild defending Cody. But again, that's not the majority. Going to his DJ set is a lame move. Maybe he sees this as a blessing in disguise. Hey, that's a crazy take. No, there's no way he sees this as a blessing in disguise. And again, shut up about the DJ set thing. Like if somebody does anything serious, then you can complain about it. But somebody pays money to say, "You suck, Cody." Who cares? And then this is from the Cody Ko Unfiltered, which is, I don't know if it's necessarily a hate subreddit, but they're much more critical of him if they're not considered a hate subreddit or whatever. And this was from a couple months ago before this really blew up. But they say, "I'm sick of Cody Ko. He just posted on his second channel again. I'm looking through all the comments and not seeing a single negative one. Waiting to see if my comment disappears. I genuinely loved his videos, but I can't even look at him now. His lack of acknowledgement is so disappointing." Living Leather 1976 comes in and says, "It was 12 years ago. What more do you want from him? If Tana doesn't care, neither should you. Like, get a life and worry about your own mistakes." Jesus. He's a massive creator, millions of subscribers. It's perfectly reasonable for people to talk about him. He puts his life out there publicly. People can talk about him. That's how it goes. But again, to be fair, that did not get any upvotes. It has -1. I feel really weird about the lack of acknowledgement too. Keep at it. The more people know, the better. So many of his viewers haven't even heard of the Kobe stuff. And the Kobe guy was his friend that also had some weird allegations and stuff that Cody featured in some of his videos, and he seems like he still hangs out with him. He's in pictures, and I believe he was at their wedding. He's absolutely deleting comments, and I see people typing the word Tana in a bunch of weird ways, so he definitely has an auto censor on for the word disgusting. He was just auto censoring, but now even the cryptically typed ones are gone, even the ones that capitalize certain letters in a sentence to spell it out. He hired people to manually delete comments because the auto censor wasn't enough, apparently. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he hired people, but if they're even finding the ones where they're using poems and stuff to spell stuff out with the first letter and those are getting deleted, there's definitely somebody going through those manually. It screams guilt. If he didn't do it, he would have come out and denied it immediately, especially since it came from Tana fucking Mongoose. I don't know, the fact that he won't even touch the subject is like, whoa, man. They are deleting all negative comments within a minute or two usually. I think they've shadow banned my comments. I can see them, but I don't think anyone else can. When I see a new video with a thumbnail of him smiling or making a dumb face, I actually get angry for a second. This guy not only did something horrible, allegedly, but I think we can all assume it's true at this point, is friends with someone else who did something horrible, takes no responsibility for any of it, and just continues on with his content like nothing happened. He's losing followers every single day. His remaining fans are begging him to just say something, anything. He ignores his remaining fans, doesn't seem to give a shit about the ones he's lost, and just continues on with little to no repercussions. I think this is probably how he's dealt with any controversy his whole life. Ignore it, and your buddies/employees will cover it up for you until everyone moves on. I truly hope that people don't let it go this time. I know commenting, sharing, discussing it, etc. is getting old, but it is making a difference. It just hit the mirror a couple of hours ago. I am fully convinced that if we had not kept on, it would have went away after the first couple of days. Keep it up and ensure that he is forced to be a big boy for once and make a statement. Yeah, so months ago, people really were after him, trying to get him to address this stuff. These next few are more crazy than the rest of them for the most part. And these come from a compilation that somebody on the Cody Ko Unfiltered subreddit put together. This is just a PSA for anyone young wanting to do literally anything great. Be perfect from your 20s, and if you're a normal, flawed human being, hide that. It can all bite back after you've grown out of it and destroy your reputation. Shame. And I mean, from that video we saw of Kelsey, I don't know how much his behavior has changed. He's still very selfish and uses women for what he wants and what's convenient to him. content bug replies, or just don't statutory people. Which is, pretty fair. Yep, but God forbid you do, as you'll be banished into the shadow realm for eternity, never able to redeem yourself and build a solid family in your 30s. You'll never recover and die a PDF. I mean, I don't know if Kelsey's leaving him or not about this. It doesn't seem like it from what I've seen or heard, but obviously I have no idea. He's not being banished into the shadow realm. He could probably still upload and get hundreds of thousands of views on his videos. You have all this empathy or sympathy for the perpetrator that knew better, fully developed brain and all, but none for the fresh out of high school girl. Or maybe I respect growth and maturity. Keep your confirmation bias. Like, yeesh. I really don't think this whole thing is that bad. People do stupid shit. People learn. People grow. I hate that cancel culture has ruined this. I miss Cody. I think it's a good thing that women are allowed to speak up about abuse and that we as a society have the mind power to discern whether or not people's actions are right. It brings a sort of justice that wasn't seen in years, and people speaking up about it and canceling someone is justice being served. Would it not be would it not be so bad if your 17-year-old daughter was in bed with a 25-year-old college kid? The power dynamics just don't match up. It's sad because Tana doesn't feel like it was our word and even feels bad it got out. He has a wife and kid now. He's not a predator, and it was a mistake on his part, but it was years ago. Cancel culture sucks and needs to go away. And I mean, you can say it was years ago, but he was still using Kelsey and not not treating her as a full human partner either, up until they got married. But, lock him up, lock him up. He's got to go. I really don't think that the people who enjoyed Cody's content need to feel bad for it. Definitely don't excuse what he did or anything like some of the more crazy people did. But you don't beat yourself up for having enjoyed somebody's content before you knew something bad. Because at the end of the day, you probably watch a lot of content from a lot of people who aren't very good people. But, we just don't know. It doesn't come out.